This is BT. We're hanging out at my studio, Binary Acoustics, in Los Angeles, California, and we're going to be talking about a bunch of cool new M Audio gear and my new project, This Binary Universe, that comes out August 29th. Check it out. My new project is called This Binary Universe, and it's a culmination of 2 years of work, and this is not something that I throw around lightly at all. It really, truly is my most proud creative achievement to date, bar nothing. The amount of integrity and altruism in this project is just really spectacular, not just from myself and the people that have worked on this musically, but the artists, the visual artists, and what they've done for this project. It's really spectacular. So many people along the way in the process of making this told me that it was not possible to do. I heard that repeatedly. What This Binary Universe is it's a collection of 7 short films and 7 musical compositions ranging from 10 to 14 minutes in length. It has elements of classical music. There's 3 pieces that have a 110-piece orchestra and a lot of found sound, circuit bent, exotic handmade instruments, and combining classical harmony, these found sound instruments, sort of glitch rhythmic figures with jazz asymmetrical meter. There's nothing on the record that relies solely on 4/4, and I got to experiment with things that I don't typically get to experiment with in writing music for a film or writing music for my albums. At the root of it is really just like 7 very simple lullabies that I wrote with my daughter sitting on my lap, and that was a huge influence in making this record. Really, the catalyst for making this record was the first piece called Dynamic Symmetry, and this piece began really as an experiment. There's 3 sections to it. Most of the pieces on the record are like this too, are sort of classical music form where you have a statement of a theme, a variant of a theme, and then a recapitulation of a theme. There's 3 distinct movements to most of the pieces, and I wrote that piece and I played it for my friend Patty Jenkins that directed Monster, and Patty said to me, she was like, "This is an album." She's like, "You have to make this a whole album of music like this." She's like, "I need you to do it." It's literally like almost like an assignment. I was like, "I don't know." It was kind of an experiment, and she's like, "You have to make an album like this." And so I sat down and I started sketching some figures for other things, and it really started to make sense to me that there was this vast area of sound that I hadn't experimented with at all, and musical ideologies, and that there was actually a meeting point between my interest, between classical music and some of the clicky, glitchy, bleepy IDM stuff and jazz rhythm. And so it was kind of a proof of concept more than anything, that track, Dynamic Symmetry, and it encouraged me to make, and especially what Patty said, encouraged me to make the whole record. An incredibly inspiring piece of gear to me is the Microtrack, as you know, and something that I got exposed to when I was starting the film Look that I just finished, that's coming out later this year, and that ended up, I ended up using that heavily towards the end of the creation process for This Binary Universe. You can't necessarily maneuver yourself into certain places that I want to record the sounds of, like pipes. I did a bunch of impulse responses of tubes that ended up being used as impulse responses for some of the beats on the Antikythera Mechanism, which was one of the tracks on the record. They're done with the Microtrack recorder. I can literally reach up in there with a Microtrack recorder and hit record and make a bunch of, snapshot impulse responses. And that device, just being the size that it is, I did things like, going to a place like Starbucks, literally, and putting the thing on the counter and paying for my coffee. And I have the thing in record, and I'm recording the cash register, I'm recording the entire interaction. You can't do that with a laptop. Do you know what I mean? People would be like, "Oh, do you have clearance? What the hell's going on in here?" You know what I mean? You just can't do that, right? I also use the trigger finger a significant amount for programming breaks for this, just for feel, and because I miss that sort of vibe of working on an MPC 60, which is like, I come from that. And so it's really nice to be able to have that, but to use an engine to host your sounds, your samples, what have you, and to not have this big clunky machine, you know, to carry around. The thing that I'd like to encourage people to do more than anything is, please, if you're watching this and you're interested in this record, listen to it in surround sound. I mixed the whole thing on my trusty BX5s, and it's in fact my favorite environment to listen to the record in. So it's one of those things that, like, I mean, this sounds crazy, but I'm really serious about this. Like, if people are interested in hearing this record the way that it was written, you need 5 BX5s and a sub, you know what I mean? And it really makes that system sing. My travel studio is an O2 and my 15-inch titanium. And it's just like the most awesome thing in the world, man. I mean, I have more power in those 2 pieces of gear than I had in my studio, you know, 5 years ago. This Binary Universe comes out August 29th. There's gonna be some pre-release stuff through iTunes over the next week or so, and you can go to bt-network.org and sign up for the mailing list there and get information on when shows are coming and whatnot. You can also go to my MySpace pages, and I'm kind of a lunatic about blogging, and anyone that's on my friend list knows that, so there's always interesting stuff going on over there. And my personal page is /MrBT, and my music page is /This Binary Universe. So this record, I really would like to encourage people that are interested in it to sit down, like maybe with friends, whatever, and to enjoy from the beginning to the end without distraction. You know, it's not the sort of thing that you kind of put on in the back. It would be confusing. If you put this on in the background, you'd be like, what? It'd like spin you out. You were checking into it every once in a while. You know, it's the sort of thing that requires attention. It requires a commitment. It's an hour and a half of your life, and if you're willing to do that, I think that it's something that's really hopeful and evocative, and by the end of it, will put you in a better place than you were when you started watching it. So I took my micro-track recorder, I went into the garage, and come on up! So, come here! So I stood in, come see me! So now it's turning into a nut house. There's dogs and children. This is what my place is really like. This is like a good taste of what it's really going on around here.